Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome. Today, we're jumping into what is probably the single most common and most important question that every single credit card user has. Getting this one thing right can save you a ton of money in interest and seriously boost your credit score.
So let's just get right to it. When is the absolute best time to pay your credit card bill? And you might think it's a simple answer, right? But there's kind of a secret to doing it the right way. Don't worry, by the end of this, it's all going to make perfect sense.
All right, so here it is. This is the big takeaway, the golden rule for this entire explainer. You want to pay your bill after your statement closes, but before the payment itself is actually due. Now, to really get what that means and why it's so important, we got to decode your billing cycle. Okay, so let's break this timeline down. To really truly master your payments, you have to understand the key dates that pop up on your statement. Let's just use a real example here to see how it all clicks together. Okay, check this out. This lays out the entire process. Your billing cycle kicks off on what's called an opening date, so in this case, September 7th. Then it runs for about a month, and it ends on the closing date, which here is October 6th. Now, that time between the closing date and your payment due date on November 3rd, that's your grace period. This is your sweet spot, your window to pay up without getting dinged with any interest. So, a simple way to think of the billing cycle is this. It's basically the month-long period where your credit card company is just keeping a running tab of everything you buy. Now, this date, the statement closing date, this one is super important. This is the day the tab officially closes. The bank literally takes a snapshot of your balance at that exact moment, and boom, that amount is what you owe for the cycle. That number is now locked in. And that brings us to the payment due date. This is your final deadline. You get at least 21 days, that's the law, after your statement closes to pay that snapshot balance. If you miss this date, you're going to get hit with late fees and interest. No fun. All right, so you get your statement, and you're going to see two really different numbers on there. And this right here is where so many people get tripped up by what I like to call the minimum payment trap.
Yeah, this slide lays it all out, doesn't it? You basically have two paths you can take. On one side, you've got the statement balance. That's every penny you spent. Pay this off, and you pay zero, zip, nada in interest. But then there's the minimum payment. It's so small, so tempting. But paying only that means the rest of your balance starts collecting interest, and fast.
So in our example, the statement balance is $94.97. This is your target. This is the number you want to zap in full to stay completely out of debt and pay absolutely no interest. But then you see this. The minimum payment is just $35. It looks so easy, right? And that's the point. It's designed to be low. Sure, it keeps you in good standing, avoids a late fee, but it is the absolute fastest way to fall into a debt cycle. Because now you're going to be charged interest on that remaining $59.97. And hey, don't just take it from me. The credit card companies literally spell it out for you right on the statement. This warning is sitting right there in black and white. Paying just the minimum is a costly mistake that will take a long time to fix. Okay, you've got the basics down. You're avoiding interest. Now let's level up. This is the pro move. This is how you can actually use your payment timing to give your credit score a serious boost. And it's all about managing something called credit utilization. Credit utilization. I know it sounds super technical and complicated, but I promise it's just simple math. You just take your statement balance, remember that snapshot amount we talked about, and you divide it by your total credit limit. That percentage, it's a huge factor in your credit score. Okay, so why do we even care about this number? Here's the deal. Lenders report your utilization to the credit bureaus right around your statement closing date. And when it comes to this ratio, the lower, the better, always. The goal is to keep it below 10%, but honestly, the real sweet spot, if you can swing it, is as close to 1% as possible. So let's paint a picture here. Let's say you've got a balance of $4,450 on a card with an $8,900 limit, and your statement is about to close. If that happens, bam, a 50% utilization gets reported. That is high, and it is almost certainly going to drop your credit score. But what if you could control that number? Well, you can. And here is the secret weapon. You can make a payment before the statement closing date even happens. By doing that, you get to decide what balance gets captured in that snapshot and sent off to the credit bureaus. And just look at the difference. This is amazing. By paying off $4,200 early, the balance when that statement finally closed was only $250. Your reported utilization just plummeted from a damaging 50% all the way down to a stellar 2.8%. You took control of the story being told about your credit. Whew. Okay, we've gone through a ton, right? From the basic timeline to some pretty advanced stuff. So let's pull it all together into one simple, perfect payment plan that you can use every single month. This little chart here is your cheat sheet. It sums it all up. The minimum payment? Think break glass in case of emergency only. It avoids a late fee, but that's it. Paying your statement balance in full? That's the bullseye. That is the goal every single time to win the game and avoid all interest. So if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this simple rule. Always, always pay your statement balance in full after your statement closes, but before the payment due date. If you do that one thing every single month, you will never pay a single dime in credit card interest. Ever. And that's it. That is everything you need to know about when to pay your credit card bill. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Based on everything we just talked about, what's the one change you're going to make to your payment strategy starting today? Thanks for watching.